I
I
am
am African,
African, I'm
I'm
a
a
mother,
mother,
and
and
I'm
I'm
raising
raising
a
a
new
new
breed
breed
of
of
leaders
leaders
for
for
the
the
African
African
future.
future.
A very, very beautiful day to you, African mama, wherever it is you're watching us from. I am Zoe Octavia Obaze, and you're welcome to the A.R.A.L show, where A.R.A.L means Afri Moms
Moms
Raising
raising African
African
leaders.
Leaders. We have had very interesting conversations in the past 5 episodes of the A.R.A.L show, and today is the sixth. And we want to touch on something that takes us back to our homes, our home front, particularly. Of course, the A.R.A.L show is African mothers holding one another accountable to say that let's raise our children deliberately and consciously to be the future African leaders that we would be proud of. Today, we want to talk about the influence that external persons who we bring into our homes can have on our children, which is not exactly what we hoped for. Let me break it down and make it very simple. When we hire domestic staff, what exactly are the consequences of that action? When we bring in people to our homes, for instance, extended family members, or somebody from my village, somebody that is close to me, somebody I have adopted, when we bring them into our homes, what is the true implication of these people's influence on our children? So, there is a story I would like to begin with. I would not first of all say that it is sad, but I'll say that it's real. And that's going to be the first point of conversation for Somi and I this morning. But before then, Somi say something. By the way, she's looking very pretty. She's a fine girl.
Don't mind Zoe. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from or what time you will be watching the replay of this video, just in case we are unable to tune in live. My name is Chisom Ukachiku, and of course, on the A.R.A.L show, you can call me Somi. So this is Digit 1024 Radio. We are live on Digit 1024 Radio, your refreshing radio station. And we're welcoming you to another exciting episode of the A.R.A.L show. We hope you stay tuned because today, I'm kind of in a sober mood because we're going to be discussing something that is very, 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 very I'm looking for the best word, but something that affects almost every African child. I'm sure if you talk to 3 or 4 or 5 African child, you would find African children rather, you will find that 1 or 2 of them have had issues relating to what we're going to talk about today. So please don't go anywhere. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and also subscribe to Digit 1024 Radio for more refreshing contents like this. Over
Thank
to
you
you, Zoe.
so much, Sumi. And today we would be very willing and, in fact, very eager to hear your opinions, your thoughts, your counsel to other African mothers all around the globe. And the number to call is
080
080
9888
1024. All right, and that is 080 9888 1024. Okay, the very first story is from a girl called Ashanti. She's from Ghana, particularly based in Accra, and she's 17 years old. My father was a soldier and my mother a broadcaster. They were never at home. As the only child, I was always in the care of our housekeeper. Afua, that's the housekeeper, was very kind to me. But when I turned 13, she began telling me, "You are a woman now, oh, eh? You are no more a baby." And so she started showing me blue films on her phone and would ask me, "Do you like it?" She assured me that she was preparing me to be a woman. By the time her contract was expired and my parents asked her to leave, my parents had already bought me a phone. I spend every spare moment watching pornography, and now I do not even know how to stop.
Okay.
Again. Okay, so babe, that story. What can we pick from the story? First of all, let's just even go over the story. So there's a 17-year-old girl. So she's now 17, right?
Yeah.
And she's the only child. And her dad was a soldier or is a soldier. Her mom is a broadcaster. So the issue is that the parents brought in someone to take care of her as a housekeeper, a certain Afua. And when she turned 13, and she was kind to her, I mean, so she wasn't maltreating Ashanti, right? But when she turned 13, she told her, I think she told her that she's trying to prepare her, that now she's no more a baby,
Of course.
and that she's now going to be a woman. So in an attempt to prepare Ashanti, she began to show her blue films. And we'll ask her, oh, hope you like it, So she's truly preparing her, and now her contract is done, and she's leaving the home. She has left the house. But Ashanti now has a phone, and she's continuing in the preparation that Afua gave to her. So there are some questions come to mind. How busy is too busy for a mother? So, oh my.
Okay, so I don't think the question should be how busy is too busy for a mom. The question should be how busy is too busy for a parent. Whether a mom. I understand that yes, this is Afri Moms Network where we talk about mothers, Afri Moms and all that. But at the same time, we recognize on A.R.A.L show the importance of fathers
Yes.
in parenting their children.
Yeah.
So the thing is, because for some family, for example, so at every point in time, the minute you decided to become a parent, it is no longer about you. So for every decision you make, your first consideration should be to that child. For the good of your child. You are an adult. For the good of your child. Maybe when they grow into adulthood, you can now, spread your wings, fly as high as you want to without looking back. But for the fact that you still have a child that you're parenting, every decision, every thought, everything you do, every step you take should be in the interest of that child. So, from the story, to be honest, there is no other person to blame than the parent. God did not give the assignment of parenting Ashanti to the housekeeper. He entrusted that to her parents. So if there's anyone who has failed Ashanti, it's her parents, not the housekeeper. Because if they had even done their homework, if they had prepared her ahead of time, she probably would know better when the housekeeper started telling her all that.
Yeah, because she was clearly lying to her.
Of
She gave her the impression that
then again,
now you're becoming a girl,
that
a
is
woman.
another issue. So how are you sure that the housekeeper knows better?
Right?
How are you sure that's not how she was brought up?
Yeah, because it appears
Do you
that she was a
understand?
kind person, maybe doing what she thinks is best.
So you see, so it's a pattern. Abused people abuse others. So probably the housekeeper is also a victim of such circumstances when she was younger and she didn't know any better. And of course, because nobody stalled that pattern, it continued.
So me, as I listen to you, I something really comes to mind, and it's that imagine a woman that has been groomed, educated, applied certain disciplines to the point that she's now a broadcaster. I mean, it takes some intelligence to be a broadcaster. It takes some exposure. It takes some education. It takes some value to become that. Now, she is made, quote and unquote, and she now has a daughter that at the point where she needs to start becoming a woman, she's being fed trash. She's being fed lies. She's being fed something that will not amount to beauty like her mother was exposed to. So it's sad that a woman of such stature, a woman of such beauty and pedigree would have her own child become something else simply because she has to, go into, should I say into her glory days? Something, when you were saying something, I was going to say that I thought to myself, so while I agree with you, my thought is, it's easier said than done. When you say, oh, let it be your children first, and then after they grow, babe, that's some 21 years to come. So you are
See,
saying I should not, because right now we need to argue for and against.
of course, I get the point. Do you understand? But like I said, I would always call me biased. I accept it with my full chest. I will always be biased in favor of the child. The child did not beg to be born. There are people who have made the decision, I do not want to be a parent. Because they feel I can't handle the responsibility that comes with it. So the moment you decide I want to be a parent, it is no longer about you. Like my husband would say that one thing he will always hear the late Bimbo Odukoya say often is there is no such thing as an illegitimate child. So even if that child was conceived out of rape or anything, there is no such thing as an illegitimate child. They are only illegitimate parents.
Wow.
So, but the problem is this child is here now. You whatever is the case, because in the case of okay, it's a rape or whatever, abortion was not an option for you and shouldn't be an option, but you've chosen, I want to keep this. The onus is on you to nurture that child, even at very painful costs. That's just the truth. Except you want to create more problems for the society and for yourself. Because see, maybe why I'm sounding like this is because to an extent I'm leaving the talk.
Okay.
There was when I had my when I have my children, some people would see me, they'll say, oh, you're so smart, you're so intelligent, but it seems when it comes to earnings, it's not commensurate to the intelligence and all that. That's because I have my priorities aligned. There was a time a job offer came. It was tempting, like the pay was kind of something reasonable, but I weighed my pros and cons. I can't afford to jump out of my house early in the morning. This is my 8th year of marriage. I've never had a help. So imagine someone like me now taking up a job where I will have to fly out early in the morning and come back late at night. That is playing gambling with your future, not just the children right now. So yes, I understand economy is tight, everything is tight, but I still stand on my word. Everything you do from the point you became a parent should be in the interest of that child.
Okay, so me, while I listen to you, I'm feeling like some kind of, should I call it hurts on behalf of a mother listening who
Yes.
thinks that you don't understand. I have to do this work. I have to go out. Because
I
how
get
do I
it.
take care of these children? So let's even take, for instance, second best. So we're saying first best, be there. Take up a responsibility, take up jobs that allow you time to be a mother, that allows you time to be a parent, because you cannot outsource parenting, can you?
Exactly.
It
And
cannot be
the thing
outsourced.
is, you said something. You said, oh, a broadcaster, the pedigree, the mother's pedigree and all that and all that. You weren't expecting. You see, marriage and parenting are two things that have nothing to do with intelligence and exposure to some extent. When I mean
Say that again.
exposure, marriage and parenting are two things that have nothing to do, not nothing, but they are not about intelligence or maybe when I mean exposure, maybe how far you've traveled
What do you
or how
mean?
far.
What do you mean?
It is more about intentionality. So that is why you will see an uneducated person. But because he's intentional, he understands I am the parent. I have this responsibility to parent this child. You see him come out to a better result in
Wow.
parenting
Wow.
than you who is well-read, well-traveled, well-educated.
Okay, let me put it out there. Please do not forget to call in. Somi, thank you so much. 0809 888 1024. Please call in. Share with us your thoughts. 0809, pardon me, 888 1024. If in a situation where you truly must get a maid, are there responsibilities that, you can say, when it comes to my child, I don't want you to take this responsibility. Do you think there are such boundaries I can place that, okay,
Of course.
I truly need you. I need a maid, but
True.
there are responsibilities, because now we're talking about second best,
Yeah.
if there is any such a thing, as second best. Are there responsibilities that when it comes to my child, I do not expect you to do this? What do you
Of
think?
course. So, first of all, it's very wrong that it had to be the housekeeper that was telling Ashanti that you're now a woman. What does that even mean?
It means what it means.
Do you understand? So where was the mother? Sex education should have started as early as possible. While baiting the girl, why, conversations, you build up conversations. Become a safe place. Yes, there are still people who are as busy as
Ashante's mom.
Ashante's mom, but they still have their results. They still parented very good, level-headed, wholesome children. Why? Like I said, it boils down to intentionality. So you don't outsource that kind of responsibility to a housekeeper. Your daughter turns 13. That is a time to call her. Oh, you start noticing changes in your body. Oh, this is puberty happening to you. This is, you name it. Let her know. Let it be that I heard it first from mommy, or I heard it first from daddy.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have to now depend on the housemaid telling her, oh, you're not a woman, this is what you need.
As I'm thinking of practical examples of things Ashante's mom could have done. Sometimes when she's on holiday, you might have taken her with you to the radio station, or the TV station, and then you people could just have some talk over lunch, such that, yes, the housekeeper plays the role of cooking for me and doing all of this, but when it comes to heart talk, is mommy.
Or even maybe a landline, for example, at home. You check in from time to time. So, dearie, what is going on? What is happening today? What did you do today?
Yes.
Just keep that conversation so that your child knows that I have a safe space in mommy.
Yeah.
I can come
even
to
if mommy is
mommy,
not here right
even
now.
if she's not here, but she's here.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, you can even, I'm thinking, because what we are doing at A.R.A.L is that we are holding one another accountable, because we want to raise children to become the kind of leaders that we'll be proud of. And these children are not broken children. They are not children who have been sexually abused. They are not children who have been molested. And if there has been that, we want to say, let's raise them to come out of it. So something else Ashante's mom could have done is perhaps have a diary. Or I'm thinking of maybe like a journal, something that you write, both of us, just the two of us, something we'll converse about. Okay, so very quickly, is there a way to ascertain the kind of domestic staff? So is there a way Ashante's mom could have hired somebody better? Maybe somebody with a better view to life. Maybe somebody that shares their opinion as a family.
Well, that's a very tough one. Because the truth is that you really never can tell for people. You really never can vouch for someone and say, oh, I know this person. Because we've had cases where even relatives, like blood relatives, do you understand? So you can't be too careful. But what you can do is fortify your child.
Fortify your child.
So when such things comes up, if Ashanti, for example, had been exposed by her mother, do you understand? So when the housekeeper is telling her that, she will know something is off.
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't seem right.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
Exactly.
It doesn't seem right, because at the end of the day, you can't really, how do I put it? You can't be fail proof,
right,
when it comes to hiring a maid.
Yeah, you can't really know them.
You can't really know them. You can't really tell. The Bible says that the heart of a man is desperately wicked. Who can know it?
Evil.
Do you understand?
Yes.
It's only God that sees the heart, that sees through the heart, that knows the end from the beginning and knows what this person is capable of. Because we've had cases where the maid is extremely good, and all of a sudden it seems like probably influence from outside or something can just, so you can never be too careful. But like I said, what you can now do is fortify your child.
Okay.
Make sure that your child have the knowledge he or she needs to thrive at every point in time.
Thank you so much, Somi. So finally on this story, before we go on a quick break, Somi, if I'm listening to the A.R.A.L show right now, I have a maid, and my daughter is over 13. I acknowledge that I'm very busy. Is there a way to check with my child and know if something is going wrong? I'm just thinking, Please, you're also welcome to call in and share your thoughts with us. Is there a way to check with your child at home right now while I'm listening to the R.A.L show? Is there a way to confirm that my child is fine and everything is okay, or to say, okay, this is wrong, this has gone wrong? Because you know how it is. When we know what has gone wrong,
We
then
know
we
how
can
to
we can
fix it.
exactly start fixing it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, of course, especially in a place like Lagos and with the kind of economy, and I'm sure that might be the case across Africa for some parents, the whole economy issue is beyond Nigeria where we are right now. I'm sure some other countries are being affected by it. So it has made it um more pertinent for both parents to try and see what they can do to pull resources together to make sure that the family is covered financially. But what you can now do is put structures in place, put safety measures. So your child, for example, does he or she knows your number? If your child is in danger, can he or she call and say, "Oh, mommy, see this, see that"? Do you have a way? If it's possible for those who can afford it, install a CCTV camera in your
Yes.
home where you can monitor what is going on. You're busy, you come back late at night. Even if it's weekends, you can now have, compile the whole time from the week,
Yes.
or Sundays, or while you're driving to church, just create activity. It could be, okay, while you're bathing that child, so tell me what happened yesterday while I was not around. Or just like I said, it has to take intentionality.
Intentionality.
Be intentional about the father. I want to be aware of what is going on in my child's life. I want to know what is going on. It makes the child have a sense of safety. It gives the child a sense of security, a sense of, mommy got me, daddy got me. So those are the things you like I said, nobody can say it's entirely fail proof, because crazy things are happening, trust me, very crazy thing. But then your number one responsibility is to your child. So at every point in time, please make sure that any decision whatsoever you're taking is in the best interest of your child.
So me, that is a whole lot, and we'll be going on a break almost now. What we have been discussing is the role of a domestic staff in the life of our children, and how we, as intentional mothers, as conscious mothers, can come in the way to either, first off, keep off from domestic staff completely and get the job done ourselves, or second best, ensure that the staff we are hiring are people who to a good extent share our values and
True.
can uphold them when it comes to our children. We'll be right back. Please do not go away. This is still the A.R.A.L show. Stay tuned.
But that's not all there is to Digit brand. There is Digit Place, your preferred place, perfect for live recordings, dance or music rehearsals, AGMs, conferences, meetings, and birthday parties.
Of course, there is Digital Consult, the arm responsible for procurement and installment trainings, live sound equipment rentals, and professional live streaming solutions.
Then we have the Odogu of our services, Digit Sound, where we handle everything sound related, ranging from live sound setup, audio mixing, and live sound reinforcement.
Don't forget to download the Digit 1024 radio app from the Google Play Store for inspirational, educational, and motivational content.
At Digits 1024 Solutions, we pride ourselves on delivering excellent sound, quality service, and value to our clients the first time and all the time.
We are Digit.
Every beat counts.
For radio, we've been having an interesting conversation around helps, and what have you, in relation to the African child. Of course, everything we do on the A.R.A.L show is geared towards ensuring that we raise wholesome children who will tomorrow become the future African leaders. So welcome back. I hope at this point you have liked, you have shared this video, and you have subscribed to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification button, bell rather, so that you can get notified whenever we come across your way with interesting content like this. So Zoe, the conversation has been quite fierce, and but we still have another story, and these are really very pathetic stories, and it goes to show that we have a lot of work to do when it comes to parenting our children, and we can never really be too careful. There's no such thing as being too careful when it comes to your child, because a lot of things are out there, a lot of things are happening. So the second story says, my father's brother lived with us. He was not exactly our relative, but we called him daddy's brother. When my older siblings went to boarding school, my father refused to enroll me for reasons best known to him. Uncle Nuru would invite me to his room and teach me how to puff cigarettes. Later on, he introduced Kolos, and we would feel good together till we sleep. Now I am a junkie and I can't help myself. This was sent in by Toba. I hope I got that
Toba.
correctly. Or Toba. Okay, Toba. Oh,
Yes.
that's actually a Yoruba name. Toba from Ibadan. And he's just 16 years old.
Oh my
so
God.
he's already a junkie at 16 years old. So, Zoe, this time around, I roll the ball to you.
First of all, when I came across this story, I had to ask someone that do people can a 16-year-old be a junkie? Because it was tough to think of. I'm already thinking about the level of decay. Okay, no, let me not sound like I am already losing hope, but it's really sad. And I remember the parts where he said, my daddy's brother. And then he now said, he's not our uncle. So I'm like,
Exactly our
is he your daddy's brother? But you see, okay, so these are the beautiful things about us in Africa. We are very communal.
Of course.
We love family. So while we have the nuclear family, father, mother, children, we also embrace extended family. Father, mother, brother, children. Then we now start with uncle, second uncle, cousin's uncle. And it goes on and on and on and on. But questions in my head. Who was this person to daddy, for which daddy called him brother? And on what basis did he come into our house? And why is he so trusted? So, and then why? I don't know. I don't think I should be asking questions. I should be answering, right? Because first of all, I am concerned about that little boy. I call him little because 16. There's still a whole lot of life ahead of him. Okay, so I'm thinking that perhaps if there was a relationship between daddy and Toba, perhaps he would have said something to daddy. And if, for instance, his siblings, his older, now we don't know if his siblings are male or female, perhaps he would have also confided in his siblings. So you know how evil and wickedness thrives in secrecy.
Yeah.
So something that could have helped Toba is if he had a father figure he could speak with. But we also don't know about his mother, do we? So if his mother was in the picture, I'm thinking that Toba could have also been taught by his mother from an early stage that such things as this. Remember our conversation we had on this show some time ago, actually some weeks ago, and then we reviewed it at our last episode, that if anything that you are engaged in does not make you feel comfortable, you are not sure that if mommy or daddy or the society finds you doing it, then perhaps you should not do it. If his mother had begun teaching him this, perhaps Toba would have known that I respect Uncle Nuru. Daddy thinks he's his brother and everybody accepts him. But this thing he's teaching me, first of all, I observe he's hiding. I remember I heard a parent one time telling his son that if anybody teaches you anything and tells you don't tell your father, don't tell your mother, just know that person wants to kill you. So that's like the standard he placed for his children. So if you ever want to just make them tell the whole world anything, just tell them, don't tell your mommy and your daddy. So it just sets an alarm in their head. They immediately tell their parents. So I'm thinking that perhaps if daddy had played that role of being a friend to Toba, if his siblings had been raised to be examples, he would have perhaps been able to speak with them. And of course, if his mother as well had taught him what it means to do the right thing, perhaps he wouldn't have continued with this kind of uncle.
That's some very, very like. When I read the story, the truth is there are so many gray areas in the story that we don't have clarity on. So
Okay.
to some extent, my opinion is quite limited to
Okay.
what we have. Just
Okay.
like the questions you've raised, we don't know the older siblings. What's even the age gap? Why would the father agree for the older children to be at the boarding school and while he remained at home? And if this one who is at home right under the watch of the father can still be influenced to become a junkie, then what is the guarantee that the ones in boarding school are not worse off?
No junkie.
So you see, so there are too many gray areas in the story. But then again, it still boils down to the fact that teach your children. Make your family values clear to them from a very young age. Let them know what is acceptable and what is not. Let them know what is right and what is wrong.
It appears that parenting needs a lot of talking. Because
Of
I've been
course.
hearing you say things that it sounds like we should keep talking and talking.
See, that's the thing. Repetition. For example, I hardly play some kinds of song in my house. But one of my neighbor, this as in is just an example I'm giving.
Yes, yes.
One of my neighbor always plays it. In fact, he plays it on a blast. What do you think will happen to me? Even though I don't listen to that song.
You will know the song.
Subconsciously, I will know the song. That's the power of repetition. I have heard that song over and over. It has seeped into my spirit. That is the same thing with parenting. You keep talking about your values to your children. You keep talking about, your stuffs with your children. I think at the earlier episode of A.R.A.L show, I told you my children are very sensitive to negative words. Even to me, sometimes when I unconsciously say it, they say, "Mommy, you just said." Why? Because over time, it has been reinforced. We don't say such words. So you see them, someone says it like it's like it has seeped into them. So once they hear it, it doesn't sound right. Like an alarm goes off. So you see them screaming already. Mommy, he said somebody is stupid. He said someone is this. Why? That's the power of repetition.
Yeah.
So you can't say, "Oh, I've told them once, oh, we don't steal in this family," and that's enough. Nah. Two things, modeling and repetition. You model it, then you keep repeating the attitude, both in deeds and in words. Then it seeps into, it forms their personality.
Yeah.
It forms their personality. So you can't just take chances. You can't just say, "Oh, no, I don't want to." Like I said, parenting is war. So what if you're in a war zone, what do? Gird up yourself like a soldier. Don't take chances. Don't take chances. So I have a brother that is king of secular. When I mean secular, you'll be hearing different kind of words. He knows better to play it in my house. Why? Because I've sounded it over and over again. They don't play such in my house. So what you do is that if extended family is coming into your home, you should have your values even placed somewhere where anybody that is coming in is seeing it. They know, okay, the Ukachukwu's family, we don't do this, we don't do that, we don't do that. What that does is that anybody coming into that house have to align, or you get out. It's either you align to, this is my house, my home, I make the rules, and I have made the rules. If it's not okay for you, please get out. When you go outside, you can do whatever. But as far as this place is concerned, it's my safe haven. It's my children's safe haven. So I can't take chances with it. So you either align yourself. And it's not just to say, "Oh, of course, imagine someone who is used to vices. Then he's coming into your house. You're telling him this is the house of virtue." You'll be kidding yourself, right? So what that does is two things. Either you restrict such person from coming to your house, or you make sure that you, with eagle eye, monitor them, especially when it comes to your children.
In fact, what I can hear you say and what is coming to my mind is that it means that everyone that comes into our home, in some sense, whether they are related, especially if they are related to us, I know it's different from domestic staff because this now is family. This now is community. So it means that we also have the responsibility of vetting, cross-checking. Can this person just come and say, oh, I just came to greet you today and go tomorrow? Or can this person come and say, oh, I just came Friday, then the person is going on Sunday? Or can this person stay? Because it appears that what I can hear you say and what I'm understanding is that if our values are clear, if I as a person and my husband, it's clear who we are to our family, then first of all, it should be clear to the rest of our extended family that this is how we choose to live. And if you're coming to live with us, you have to either live by it or please don't come in. And then I think that it's particularly important if your children are still growing.
Exactly.
Because it's like you are sowing, what are you sowing? You are sowing seed
then
and you are
allow
sowing
someone
weed.
to come and plant
sow weed.
where you're
That's you're already spoiling your work.
Of course.
You're spoiling your work.
So that's just it. So for me, so like I said, there are so many gray areas in Toba's story, and I just hope that it is not too late. He can be redeemed.
Okay.
So I just hope that the father is even aware that he's already a junkie, because that's a bigger problem if they are not even aware of the problem. Because when you are aware of the problem, you can now begin to take a step towards fixing it. So what I would advise Toba to do, I'm hoping that we'll be able to reach him, is that he should probably open up to his dad. And let's hope that the dad even has the decency to know what is right and what is wrong. So he let the father now begin to take the step towards restoring Toba. Maybe counseling sessions, rehabilitation, or something. It's not going to be an easy one because the deed has been done. That is why prevention is always, always better than cure. Because a lot of time, you're not even 100% sure of the cure you will get.
So, me, please, a quick one. Could the boarding school have been a better alternative for Toba? Maybe.
We can't say. Because the truth is, what research did Toba's father even do before taking the children there? So how are you sure? So you see that when I say intentionality, it applies as in every step of the way, you have to be intentional. So even to the school you take your children to, is this school aligned to our family values?
Wow. Wow. It's all encompassing.
So when I say intentionality, it is every step of the way. You have to be intentional about it. So even for school, is this school really aligned to my values? So I will still use the example of myself because of course I would share from my personal experience. My children were going to a certain school. First of all, their performance was not satisfactory when it comes to academic. Then the one that broke the camel's back was the fact that at a children's party, I was hearing, I too like woman. From where to where? How do you play such songs in a children's party? One of all those their end of term activities. How do you play such songs?
Insensitive.
And it was so, it was what was more irksome was the fact that some of the children there were singing along to it.
Oh no. Oh no.
So imagine at that age, I too like, and you're singing it.
Oh no.
Do you understand?
No. Oh,
so
no.
I told myself, I said, no, this will not work.
Exactly.
Even when I took them to their new school, I told them, please, if you're not ready to vet the songs that you play at your parties, my children will not come for any of the parties. I'm okay with your academic performance for them. But if your parties do not align with my values, then sorry, I will not pay for anyone and my children will not attend. So thankfully, they are actually also very careful with the kind of so you see that's intentionality. So Toba's parents, so what the guarantee that we have that boarding school will be better is if Toba's father Toba, sorry, please pity my Igbo tongue. Is if Toba's father even have their family values spelled out and now knows that okay, this school will actually help my children, then that would be. But then what can be a better option for a child than home? Home should be a child's safe space.
Home should be a child's safe space. So our final words as we wrap up today's episode. Thank you for joining us wherever it is you're watching us from, all across the 54 countries in Africa and in the diaspora, because we're aware that Africans, we are spreading our tentacles to the ends of the world. But wherever we are Africans and Africans are we. And so wherever our children go to, we expect them to come back someday and be the leaders that we want them to be. So in retrospect, all we have been saying today, in summary, in our final words. Okay, final words.
Okay, so the final words from for today would be, um, like I said, marriage and parenting are two things that requires intentionality. So you have to be intentional with your children. What exactly do you want for your children? Do you even have it spelled out? Do you even know what your values are as a family? Because if you don't know, then of course anything goes. That's when you begin to allow any kind of things to have access to your children. So as a parent, be intentional with your children. These are the future. A lot of problems we have in the society today would have been averted if parents were more intentional about their role in the life of their children. So please, once again, mothers, like we always do, and of course, we know some fathers tune in to still in to our show. We welcome you with open arms. What we're saying is, please, for the sake of these children, for the future of Africa, for the future of these children, please be intentional about their welfare and let every decision you make be to the good of that child that has been entrusted into your care.
Thank you, Somi. And final words from me. African mama. When we became mothers, we signed up for intentionality. We signed up to be deliberate and to be conscious. You can outsource absolutely any other thing, but I honestly do not see how we can outsource being a mother. So if at second best, you really must hire a domestic staff or open your door to an extended family member, please put on your deliberateness and wear your consciousness and make the decision with your husband for the good of your child. Like someone will say, for the good of your child. And we are hammering it again. Let that always be the consciousness. Whatever I'm going to do, whatever this person is coming to bring to my home, should be for the good of my child. And when a domestic staff comes, let's draw the line where it should be. And if you're truly busy, please also ensure that you are closing the gap. You are meeting with your child from time to time so that it's clear that even if I'm not here sometimes, I am actually always here, in the sense that you can always reach me. Thank you so very much for
All right. So
today.
it's been an exciting episode of the A.R.A.L show. Join us again in 2 weeks' time when we'll be bringing another exciting episode. But then you're not entitled to a new episode until you have liked, shared, subscribed to our channel, and we'll see you next time.
All right, so we see you again. Remember to tell the world Africa is coming.